Hi everyone, my name is Seth Miller and I'm the Executive Director of the Innocence Project of Florida. I'm really excited to take this opportunity to tell you about some really important things that are going on with our project and in the criminal justice system in Florida more generally. On July 27th, just recently, we released DNA test results in the case of Derrick Williams. He's a Manatee County man who was convicted of a 1992 rape of a woman in Palmetto, Florida. She was abducted in her car and taken to an orange grove and raped. The perpetrator, incidentally, left his t-shirt in her car. Now, this evidence was still around today, and we were able to get a hold of it through a court proceeding and get DNA testing on that evidence. We sweat and we leave our DNA in all kinds of areas of the shirt, and what we found was that there was DNA left by the perpetrator on the inside collar of the shirt. It was collected by law enforcement, and we DNA tested it, and we found that the DNA on the collar, inside collar of this shirt, did not belong to our client, Derrick Williams. And we brought that to light on July 27th and held a big press conference with Derrick and his family in Bradenton, Florida. We also filed a motion in the courts to immediately vacate his conviction and asked for his immediate release. So we're hoping that will happen soon, and we're hoping we can work with the prosecutor's office to make that happen in an expeditious fashion. Now, what was so important about this press conference on July 27th was that we had roughly 36 members of Derrick's family there. And it's just a sort of unbelievable thing when you get to go and you get to stand with these folks who have suffered for so many years. And we think of victims of crime as just that person who had the crime done to them. And in this case, surely there was a victim of this crime, a woman who was raped. Her and her family have surely suffered from this crime. But when we get the wrong person, there's more victims as well. Derrick Williams is an uncle, a son, a nephew, and he was a father. And for 17 years, these family members, these wonderful people that we got to meet, have had this void in their life. And at this press conference, his niece, Twanda Means, spoke on behalf of the family and talked about that loss and talked about how her uncle being convicted of a rape he didn't commit has not only affected him, but has affected their family and their ability to live and function in the small community of Bradenton, Florida. And it was a moving presentation, and we're hoping that it moved the public like it moved us. And in time, folks will understand that Derrick Williams is innocent, and he has to come home as soon as possible to be connected with this wonderful family. As we move forward, we filed our motion, and we'll expect that the judge will order the state to respond, and then we may get another opportunity to respond because I suspect we won't like what they say. And then hopefully we'll have a hearing where we'll be able to put forward the strong evidence that proves Derrick Williams' innocence in terms of the DNA. There's a few other things that we need to talk about with this case, though. And this case has all the hallmarks of a wrongful conviction. Now, there's been 255 people exonerated through DNA testing nationwide, and in 75% of these cases, there's been a misidentification by a victim or witness that has contributed in whole or in part to their wrongful conviction. And Derrick Williams' case is no different. In this case, the victim described her attacker as being 5'6" to 5'8" in height and having a scar on his gut. Of course, Derrick Williams, his characteristics are wildly at odds with those described by the victim. He was almost 6 foot, and he had no scar on his gut, but yet Derrick Williams his pictures were still put in a photo pack. Why he was ever put in, if he didn't match the perpetrator's description, we don't know. But not only was he put in the photo pack once, the victim was shown 2 pictures of Derrick Williams in that photo pack, which is incredibly suggestive and is one of those no-nos in terms of trying to prepare an identification procedure for a victim. And of course, she identified him, and we were steamrolled our way towards a wrongful conviction. Derrick Williams had a strong alibi. He had 7 members of his family or neighbors or friends come in and say that he was at a barbecue, a family barbecue, with this wonderful family that I got to meet. And those people have had to live in the last 17 years knowing that no one would listen to them when they came into court and told the truth about where Derrick was during the time of this rape. What's even more important too is that there was a foreign hair found on the perpetrator's t-shirt. And it was a hair of an African American person. And that was tested before trial by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And it proved that it was not Derrick Williams' hair. So even before trial, there was some indication that that shirt may not have been Derrick Williams' shirt. Yet they went forward, and they tried him, and he was convicted, notwithstanding that evidence. And we're hoping that with your support and for Derrick and his family and the Innocence Project of Florida, that we can prevail and get Derrick home to his family as soon as possible. Now, if you'd like more information on Derrick's case, you can go to our blog, Plain Error, which you can reach at our website at www.floridainnocence.org. And you can find all sorts of information about Derrick on that site and all of our other cases, and take part in a running conversation with us about the criminal justice system, both in Florida and the nation and in the world. So we'll look forward to talking to you again real soon, and thank you for listening.